Hello and welcome to another Metal Cast from Metal Coffee Shop. My name is Heidi Ellsworth and I am here today very excited. We are going right to the industry to talk about what's going on in metal. We are here with Indiana Metal with John and Jena Jackson, and I'm just so excited. We have not had anyone from, who's really doing it day in and day out and putting out the products, making all this high performance metal in the industry. So I'm really excited. Jena, John, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here.
You guys got quite the setup. You're looking amazing, I have to say.
Straight off the shop floor, looking like this.
Right off the shop floor. I like it. That's even better. That's so cool. Well, good. Well, what we want to do is we kind of want to learn about you and about Indiana Metal and everything that you're doing. So let's start out with introductions. So first, Jena, if you could start by introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about you and your company, and then we'll have John introduce himself.
Sure. I am Jena Jackson. I am part owner of Indiana Metal, and we were in central Indiana. We are really convenient right outside Indianapolis. We really try to be a partner for our contractor company. We try to really just make metal easy and make it something that all contractors can offer and do. And we're really excited to kind of get our name out there and have more people know about us.
That's awesome. I love it. I love make it easy. That's what we all need to do in life. John, please introduce yourself.
My name is Jonathan Jackson. I've been in the roofing industry for about 18 years. I started out with shingles, just like everybody. I've done everything from asphalt shingles to low slope, and currently do a lot with metal, obviously. So I just kind of try to keep up on all the current trends and work hard and provide the best product we can.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's start with the story of Indiana Metal. So maybe Jena, you can start out just telling us the history, kind of how you both got started, and from both of you. But Jena, why don't you start?
Sure. We used to own an install company. I was not very active in that. I worked in the corporate world for a long time. And Jonathan really handled our install company pretty much by himself. And as it grew, we really started to specialize in metal. And we were fabricating all of our own metal for that company. We had the new tech machine, we had the 10-foot brake. We were specializing in standing seam, the architectural panels. And we started talking about a way that we could maybe not install, not do so much physical labor, and maybe also a way that I could kind of join the company in a day-to-day sort of aspect, which is not something I'd been doing. So from that, Indiana Metal was born. We started it, and it grew much faster than we expected. So we were only a couple years in when I started, but it was great timing. I quit the corporate world and started working in our own business day to day. I had to shift my mindset for that.
Yeah.
But I did, and really glad to be, self-employed, working in our business and helping it kind of grow its legs so it can run.
That's so great. And we're a family business too. And so, a lot of people are always like, oh, can you really work together and stuff? But really it's great. I mean,
yeah.
At least that's what we found.
We honestly don't even see each other. People ask us that all the time. We never see each other. Like, I manage the office. He's either in the production shop or he's on a job site. We go entire days and never see each other till we get home at night. So yeah, we always get that question. And it's like, we really don't work together that much.
You just run it together.
Yes, yeah.
So John, really, when you're looking at where you've been and, start having your own contracting company and seeing the needs out there, talk a little bit about that, about, what drove you, both of you, obviously, to grow the business, but to really start providing and manufacturing, roll forming, kind of what were you thinking as you made that shift?
Well, like everybody, I started out in shingles, and in that style of roofing, pretty much always doing a roof a day was kind of the thing that we started with. And when I started doing a lot of metal, we figured out how to do a metal roof in a day, which was completely unheard of around us. And we got to where it was like an assembly line on the job site. Everyone had a job. We were doing it really, really quickly. We had very, very few callbacks. really doing a good job. A lot of guys kept coming to me saying, "Hey, how are you doing this? How's it working?" And I kind of just, we were fabbing stuff. I've always had kind of a machinist background. It's what I went to school for. I've liked that side of working with the machines. I just decided to start helping guys and pushing the product and teaching them how to do it quickly, efficiently, make money at it, and do a good job is my main thing. Out here, there are a lot of really good installers, and there are a lot of really bad installers. So, and it's not maliciously bad. They just are unaware of techniques to help them go quick and efficient and make more money. So I really like helping guys take their job site and turning that around. And that was a big factor when I decided to go more towards manufacturing on it.
That's awesome. I love it. And you guys do have a really strong customer philosophy in your company. Kind of tell us a little bit about that. Jenna, maybe start at, how you mentioned it earlier and John just talked about it, but how do you want to interact with your contractors and what's that philosophy for your company?
We really want to be their partner. We really want to help customers, contractors who either haven't previously done metal or haven't done much of it. Contractors who think, there's no money in it. We hear that sometimes. There's no money in metal because it takes so long to put it on. We really believe that we can help. We can help them turnkey it, like Jonathan was talking about, the assembly line process on the job site, through the techniques that we have tried and used ourselves in our own previous business, and then also through the training that we offer. We truly just want to help people grow their own businesses, offer more things, not turn down a job. If somebody comes to them and says, "I want metal," don't say, "Oh, no, you don't." Just say, "Great, like let's do that." Look for the opportunities to upsell and try to make it more profitable for them.
Yeah,
And
I think
product to the customer. That's a huge one as well.
Yeah.
We want the customer to end up with a great product as well.
Yeah.
right.
Their
The homeowner. Yeah.
That final beautiful roof or siding or whatever it may be out there. John, as you're looking at, having been a contractor, getting the training and everything, how do you work with contractors who want to, like Jenna just said, want to get into metal? What are kind of some of the steps to help getting them trained, their crews trained, and understanding how the systems work?
Well, now that we're working with this Metal View project, that's helped out quite a bit. That's really streamlined a lot of the beginning info. And then really, when I talk to guys that haven't done anything with metal, I really try to relate it to shingles. It's the same thing. We're still keeping water out of the house. And once they kind of break it down and realize that this isn't some unheard of specialty roof that hardly anyone knows anything about, it seems like they kind of open up and then realize that it's another roofing system, another tool in their tool belt to provide customers. And they really usually catch on pretty quickly.
So let's talk a little bit about that Metal View program through Sherwin-Williams. I mean, we have it all over Metalcast, and we've all just started working together. I mean, all over Metal Coffee Shop, I should say. And we've started working together. Indiana Metal has an amazing directory on Metal Coffee Shop. So how has it been this getting involved with Metal View, and what kind of response are you hearing, Jenna?
It's been great. So we, before Metal View, we'd already been kind of trying to piece away on our own at the same concepts, very similar tools, the training, the faster estimating, all of those things. And when we partnered with Metal View, it really was kind of like a light switch, I feel like. Just the fact that it's backed by Sherwin-Williams, everybody knows Sherwin-Williams. That in and of itself is such a great tool to offer our customers to be able to go into their jobs and talk about it being Sherwin-Williams. But just all of the components of Metal View have been great. They've really helped speed up estimating. The visualizer, we're still getting that set up, but it's going to be fantastic once that's going. Just all of the different components and meeting so many people in the industry has really been huge.
Yeah, the cut list has been a big help. A lot of contractors are really enjoying being able to see where every single panel goes.
The roofing passport portion has been,
that's been huge.
John, talk a little bit more about that, because as a contractor and having both experience, I mean, that passport is pretty cool with the Eagle View and how detailed it can get. What are you hearing working with the contractors as they're using those systems?
Well, a huge problem with metal roofing, especially for new guys, is keeping track of where all their panels need to go. Figuring hips and valleys can be problematic if a guy doesn't have some experience with that. And it's honestly where we were really succeeding with our rental program, by providing guys with machines so they could just make stuff on site. But with the roofing passport, it's producing cut lists that are very detailed, very accurate, and it really makes cut up houses a breeze. I just took part in a project where we delivered an entire panel pack on a fairly decent sized house, very cut up, and those guys had no issues at all getting all the panels in the right spot. I think we sent 2 extra panels like usual, and they even had 1 left over, which is pretty unheard of on a pretty difficult project like that.
Wow.
So it's been really, really well received so far.
And what do you see? I mean, is it a kind of a combination of your current customers getting involved in it and learning about it? Do you also see some new customers coming in through the Metal View?
It's a mix. Some of our current customers are a little stuck in their ways, so they're a little slower to take on with the Metal View. Our newer customers are loving it, but the guys that give it a shot, that our current customers are seeing some real value to it, and there's no doubt about that.
I want to go back. You just said something really interesting that I want to get, but you said you have a rental program.
Yeah, so we have several on-site roll formers that we will rent out for our customers, which has been really, really popular with our standing seam applications, either for specialty jobs, maybe extremely long length panels. We've taken part in some jobs that had 100+ foot panel lengths run out, and then really cut up jobs. Just kind of help keep waste down by running just what's needed. So that's been super popular. And then if it's a stock color that we have, we'll even take back leftover foil, which is really popular with guys.
Yeah. I've been around, but I haven't heard that too often. So I think that's a pretty unique differentiator of what you're doing to be able to offer that into your area. That's very cool. Training wise, kind of talk about that then, because you're doing the rentals, you're out there, you're training, you're getting people going. What are you seeing along that line?
So we have done training for a while. We used to have a mobile unit, and we would take it. We've got little miniature houses that we would load up, and we would take it to contractors, to their offices, and we do training on site there. We still do that if they prefer it to be at their location. We also, this past winter, built a separate training facility at our shop. So we have a separate building. You can come to us. We'll host a training. We do sales. Jonathan does all of our install trainings on all of our systems. The sales trainings, our sales manager usually handles those. But he's doing, I would say, 2 to 4 a week.
Wow.
So he's doing quite a few of those. They're usually pretty quick, a couple hours, but we go through, the basics. We also have online training through Metal View, which has been great.
Yes.
Also, if people can't come out or time doesn't allow. But we're having people even from out of state call and ask if they can get install training at our shop, which, the answer is yes. Like we're fine with that. We just, we really want to help as many crews as possible and just get metal roofing out there more.
Man, that's great. The need, and I'm sure you're seeing this, but the need for training in metal roofing installation and metal siding too. There's just such a huge need out there that you're meeting something that a lot of people don't know where to go. Yeah,
it's in a real hands-on training is what I've been trying to provide, not some book stuff, maybe with some easy details. We have hemmed valleys, dead end walls, all sorts of things that we can do and go over. And really, I'm finding that most guys that are good roofers are having no problem picking it up. So that's been pretty interesting. Very few people come in and struggle with it other than maybe the first 30-40 minutes. But once they kind of see what we're doing, they take to it pretty well.
That's excellent. What a great benefit. So let's talk a little bit about your products. Just what you're offering out to your contractors. Maybe, John, if you can just give us an overview of what are some of the formatting or roll forming that you're doing for all the different parts and pieces and systems for your contractors.
So we cover a really wide range, anything from 29, 28 gauge screw down systems for pole barns. We do whole pole barn packages all the way up to 22 gauge low slope standing seam stuff, parapet caps, edge metals, gutters, downspouts. Do some copper work, and then we build some scupper boxes too. I mean, it's a pretty wide range. Really, anything that I did as an installer, I try to provide. And I guess fortunately, I touched a lot of different aspects. So
Yeah.
I'd like to say we're pretty inclusive on what we can do for people.
So when you're talking about, working with the contractors and growing their business, I'm just really curious too, what you've seen with your experience both, in the office, out in the field. What are you seeing in the growth of metal? How much are you seeing? Are you just seeing a lot more happening out there and homeowners asking for it? What's kind of your take? Jenna, why don't we start with you?
I think it varies by area. In our specific area, I think homeowners have been asking for it for a while. And there have been a few companies that were actively pushing it. I think a lot of companies were trying to maybe not, maybe stray the homeowner away from metal even, which I think is where Metal View has come in great and will continue to come in great, just to kind of show everyone this is easy. This is something that my company can offer. This is a product that I can sell to homeowners. But I do think that it is growing. I think in certain aspects, like a lot of the metal and shingle mix look is really, at least around here, it's becoming huge. So houses that maybe never ever would have had metal before are now having the accents, the eyebrows, the porches done in metal. And I think
Nice.
that's just going to continue to grow.
That's what we're seeing too. And you mentioned the full package for pole barns. We're also seeing, just being at the National Frame Builders show earlier this year, we saw that a lot of residential barn mediums are starting.
We live in
A
one.
lot of packages.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about it. We want to hear about it.
The pole barn style home building concepts, easy and quick and cheap to build. So a lot of people are taking that concept and modifying it and making some really cool projects. Anything from post in ground to stem walls to, just some really beautiful homes being built with that concept in mind. And it's pretty fun to be a part of.
I love it. And you said you live in one?
We do. We built it last year. Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't look like a barn, but it's, you can make it modern. You can, like Jonathan said, it's fast to put up and you can do whatever you want with it. Ours looks pretty modern and it's great. It was easy to build.
Wow, I'm just so impressed with both of you and the company you've built. What are, as you're looking at this Metal View program and everything else that you're doing, where do you see going forward that how much is that Metal View program going to really start differentiating contractors and Indiana Metal? Because there's not too many people who are doing it right now. So what do you kind of see future-wise with this?
I think it's going to be huge for the restoration guys. The companies that have 3 to 5 or more salespeople that they're bringing them in and trying to get them trained up, the ones that are chasing a lot of the storm style work. Those are the guys that have been talking people out of metal or treating it like an incredibly specialty project. And they're getting a hold of Metal View and seeing that it's another, like I said, tool in their tool belt that they can go out, make a sale, and do a good job, not have fallbacks, and provide a good experience all the way around. And I think it's going to be huge for those guys.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, last question. I just have to, well, actually it's not last. I have a couple more, but Jenna, coming from corporate into the trades and running your own business and owning your own business, how's it been?
It's been good. It was an adjustment at first. My first full year at Indiana Metal was 2021, and their supply chain issues were a real thing.
Yeah.
So that made it really difficult, but thankfully, knock on wood, we're past that. That's behind us. So that's made my job a lot easier, but it's been good. It's a lot faster paced environment than I was used to, which is both good and bad. Sometimes it's still a little bit hard to keep up, but it definitely keeps me busy. And happy to be here.
Well, I have to say, as another woman in roofing and in the metal, the partnership that you two have and what you're bringing to the industry just does amazing things. So
Well, thank you.
I'm so happy to have you both on Metal Coffee Shop and your amazing company. So let's tell contractors who are out there who are listening to this, who want to get involved, who want to be, in obviously Metal View program, how do they get in touch with you and how do they get started?
So they can reach out to our office. They can call us, they can email us. Our website is indianametal.com. All of our contact information's on there. Just reach out and say they want to be part of Metal View and we can get them hooked up.
Yeah. And you don't have to be part of Metal View to do business, obviously.
No.
Well, great. Thank you both so much. This is so great. For everybody listening and watching, Indiana Metal does have a full directory on Metal Coffee Shop, so you can find all their information there. We're starting to get articles and doing a lot of great coverage to really help everyone get to know Indiana Metal even better. And obviously, I'm just really thrilled. Thank you so much for being on Metal Coffee Shop and for being on the show today, John and Jenna. It's just been fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you all for listening and watching. Be sure to check out Indiana Metal and the full Metal View program on Metal Coffee Shop in the directories and articles. You'll find them everywhere. And then also, thank you so much for being a part of Metalcast overall. Be sure to check out all the episodes under the Read, Listen, Watch navigation on Metal Coffee Shop or on YouTube, where you need to be sure to subscribe and set your notifications along with your most favorite podcast channels. Just set those notifications so you don't miss a single episode. And we will be seeing you next time on Metalcast.